It's kind of crazy. 2 years of doing YouTube is, I mean, it's longer than I've held any job, really, but, if you consider it a job, but it's, it is, Dragon Ball is my passion and I love doing this stuff, but it's kind of strange to think that I've been doing it for so long. Granted, about a year into it, I wasn't even making money until about a year into the thing, and even then, it wasn't really good. But it's really weird to think that you can. I mean, even just the idea of making money on the internet, it's very strange. And because I worked at Stewart Shops before this for about a year and a half, and a lot of you guys won't even know what that is. It's like a gas station convenience store. It's a lot of different things. I was pretty high up there, I guess you could say, in the shop. I was in charge a lot of times. I wasn't a manager, but I had my own little place of power, I suppose. I don't know. Some people know what Stewart Shops are, and if you've been there, you've seen people kind of go crazy there. And I was doing that a lot with YouTube. Like, I started YouTube July 12th, 2014. Well, it's kind of a lie because it doesn't really count, but I did upload Call of Duty Black Ops 2 clips because that game had a built-in clip editor, I believe, and it had theater mode and you can upload it to YouTube. It was nothing serious. It was just to see, like, hey, maybe this will get views. It wasn't serious YouTube or anything like that. Eventually I deleted those, and then hey, you know what? I'm a big fan of Quaman. Let's do some YouTube stuff. I've told the story a million times. I know not everyone's seen it. Quinn was a big inspiration. I was a big fan of his stuff, and now I consider him a really close friend, which is funny how things turn out. And I got a lot of close friends in the community. It's really amazing because I don't even have that many friends in the real world anymore after, high school was over. But, I started YouTube in July 12th, 2014. So yeah, I'm 2 days late on this little anniversary thing. I guess we had a leap year too, so I guess 1 day late technically. I don't remember. I don't know the math. But now we're here, and it's like I said. I started then, and then in September of that same year, so about a month and a half later, I started working my job, and I was doing 8-hour weeks, and doing a video a week on YouTube here and there. I believe at that point I started uploading a little more frequently, and that kind of spiraled into more and more work, perpetually into more and more work just as the weeks went on. There's a thunderstorm in the background, by the way, at my house. I really didn't have any other time to record this other than in the middle of a thunderstorm and a rainstorm. But just getting into a job and doing YouTube on the side, I know there's plenty of guys that do it. I eventually got to the point where I was working 40, 35 hours a week at my job, and then there was going home every day because I was uploading every single day. Every single night or morning I would have to work on stuff for YouTube, so I had almost zero free time. It was like 35, 40 hours at Stewart's, and then going on YouTube. At this point I wasn't even really making much money at all, but I wanted to grow my audience and give guys videos. Going there and doing 25, 30 hours, which has increased to like 35 to 50 depending on what goes on in the week. And that's just a lot of work. And yeah, I know work is a part of life, but it was just so much stress from the main job and then going back home and doing all this stuff. And there was a point where I realized that I need to pick one of these things. And working in retail is not good if you've ever done it. It's not very fun. I know people think it is. After about a year, I'm like, this is not getting anywhere. Then about a half year later, I was gone. It was, on good terms. I let people know I was leaving and stuff. And, well, they still miss me there. I kept things together pretty good. But, YouTube's just something that has that chance to grow into something much more, I make a decent amount of money. I can't really, contractually say how much. It's just not what YouTubers can do. And you got Social Blade to look at, but I could tell you Social Blade's not very accurate on how much people make. I can guarantee you that. They give you the ranges of like, well, this person makes $400 to $3,000 a year. I'm like, that's a pretty big range, don't you think? It usually, from what I've seen, it usually lines up somewhere in the middle, I guess, around that area. But I digress. It's not always accurate. But I know people throw those numbers at me all the time. But in between all this stuff, deciding to leave my job and all that stuff, I never really thought, people have heard the story before, and I understand that, but not everyone has. I never really thought YouTube, when I started, I'm like, I'm going to do this for fun and see where it goes. I don't expect to get big. So I was doing it for a few months, and eventually, Dino, Rhyme Style, featured one of my videos on an older site, which, oh geez, now it's Anime Multiverse, and I think the old site was called Naruto TGS. He featured it, and then I got about 20-30 subs from his featured post on there, and that put me over to 100 subs. So that was like my first milestone, my first interaction with Dino, I suppose. And then later on, it kind of elevated to more and more. I was doing more stuff. I think I had around 500-ish subs, and Dino wanted, he messaged me on Twitter and said, what's your Skype? We gotta do a video. And I'm like, okay, let's do all this stuff. So he reached out to me and wanted to do stuff. I wasn't, I don't really like to be the guy to go and ask people, hey, can I do videos? I want people to notice me and grasp that stuff, and I'm glad he did. I don't know what he saw in me, because I had terrible content. My old stuff is terrible. Why don't we just take a look at one of those very first videos right now? Just a part of it, not much, about like 30 seconds. Hey guys, welcome back to Dragon Ball Nation. Now in today's video, I will be discussing what would happen if Future Gohan had survived. In this video, there will be one part discussing what would happen if Future Gohan survived but still had lost his arm, and the other one will be if he hadn't lost his arm. Also, if you haven't checked out Kwaman's Land alternate timeline video on Dragon Ball Z, you should definitely check that out. I'll leave a link to it in the description. That was absolutely embarrassing to show you guys. My videos used to not be very good at all, and I've improved a lot over the last year and a half, 2 years, however long you want to say I've been improving for. I still want to get more improvement, but there's a level where you gotta not put in, since I do a daily content, you can't put in as much effort as you'd want to, if that makes sense. That's why it's hard for me to get bigger videos. But aside from that, Dino reached out to me and we did a video, and I shot up, like, I was coming back from work that day after like a 12-hour shift pretty much at night, and I got back and saw that I had gotten about 500 subscribers in the course of the 13 hours his video was up, and I was one of the happiest moments ever, honestly, just to see like an audience finally, like a decent sized audience. And I was still a small fry, of course, and that same week I talked to Quinn, and the first night me and Quinn, Kwaman, or Ka-Man as he's called on Watch Mojo, we're good friends. I haven't talked to him the last few weeks. He's taking his little break from YouTube or whatever. He's hibernating. He's being a Master Roshi hermit, except Master Roshi actually talks to people. But me and Quinn, the first night we ever really met, he knew about me before. He saw I was trying videos, and we talked, and he's like, yeah, your videos were pretty bad. I could see you were trying though. And I'm like, yeah, I was trying, wasn't I? Because I used to edit on a cell phone and record everything on a cell phone, which was a pain in the ass. And the first night me and Quinn ever talked, we talked for about it was about 8 hours straight, maybe 9 hours. And then the next morning, this is before he ever did his face reveal, he was at his college, and he invited me to a Skype call. And I'm like, okay, let's go. And then it's a video call, so I was face to face with Quinn, and that was an interesting situation because like, well, you're really protective about your identity, but we just met. And he's like, yeah, well, I felt like there was a friendship there or whatever. I mean, I'm paraphrasing here, but he thought I was a cool dude, so I guess the rest of that was history. And I did a Q&A with Quinn, another boost in subs. Then all that stuff kind of snowballs. Once you get a certain amount of subscribers, what really happens is it definitely has a better chance of putting you in the feeds, suggesting all YouTube's analytics and statistics, all their algorithms, just all that stuff. And it's a grind. I got lucky. Again, I never thought I was going to be anywhere near this big. I mean, 2 years I got 61 plus thousand subscribers. Yeah, I know Danny definitely outdid me a little bit. That dude's sitting at like 91K in about a year and a half. But I'm happy for him. Danny's a good friend of mine, so I'm happy for all my friends. But I never thought I would have gotten here. I guess I didn't have the level of confidence, or I didn't understand YouTube, right? And even if you do understand YouTube, there's no guarantee you're going to get big. You can't abuse the system, really. It's a very hard system to abuse because it's constantly changing. There's little tricks to learn and stuff like that, like, know how to tag. You have to have you have to have a certain amount of people that do watch your videos, that watch it for a certain length, watch time, retention, all sorts of BS. All sorts of stuff. But my original goal, I believe, was by the end of my first year on YouTube, I wanted to have, or by the end of the next year, I believe. So I started in July of 2014, right? By the end of, because Xenoverse 2 Xenoverse 1 was coming out, and I had about 500 subs. Then I got that boost from Dino. That was like that. It was in February. That year, before I even met Dino or Quinn, or was talking to them, I'm like, I want to have 2,000 subs by the end of the year. That's my goal. And I ended up having like 12,000 or something like that. Something crazy. Actually, might have been a lot more than that. I'm not sure. Actually, 2015 was not long ago. I think I had around, 30-ish thousand something. It was a crazy, crazy number because that wasn't that long ago, was it? I mean, I think I had about, maybe, I got no idea, okay? I honestly have no idea, but I think I ended up around 30-ish thousand, but I can't exactly remember. It was definitely at least 20. It was a big number, okay? That's the main thing, is that I completely exceeded any of my expectations that was possible. And that can happen to anyone. But it also cannot happen. Even if you're really good at making content, and there's a lot of guys that are a lot better than me. I don't think I make the best videos. I try hard, but I don't think I'm that talented. But apparently I've grown an audience that does enjoy my stuff, and that makes me feel incredible. To have people that listen to what I have to say. Because when I grew up, a lot of people were like, well, this guy, he's really annoying. He talks all the time about stupid shit. And I'm like, hopefully eventually people will listen, hopefully. And that's kind of what happened, after so long of being, picked on and all sorts of stuff about how, oh, you talk too much, all sorts of crap. It finally came around to the point where I have thousands of people a day that care about what I say, which is more than I could have ever hoped for. And hopefully it continues to grow. Will it? I'm sure it will. I don't plan on quitting anytime soon. As long as I keep doing it and you guys keep watching and sharing and commenting and liking and all that bullshit that every YouTuber wants you to do, I'll keep growing and moving on strong, really. And I know I'm not the best at, let's say, keeping up with videos I say I'm going to do. I know I have a lot of videos on the back burner that I have to do, but again, it's with that daily content. When news breaks, or when things come out, or when you just don't have time to do something, it's very hard to get stuff done sometimes. And there is that level of, well, let's put everything down and have that mindset of getting this shit done. Because the thing about YouTube is, I have my own schedule to make. I can do stuff whenever I want to, as long as I get it out before a certain time, right? So there is that level of, well, I can do this whenever I want, but there's also a huge, huge amount of distraction in that case. There's a lot of downtime I could take or decide not to take. It's all about time management, and that can be kind of tricky sometimes. It's all about discipline and really cracking down on stuff. I know I'm not the best on my second channel about uploading, but there's just sometimes I just don't have time. And I do upload on there when I can, whenever I can. It's not always, but if you guys have been on the channel, you know the rest of the story. After Quinn and Dino, I met Juan, Black and Fist, Danny, Mike, Jay, Clayton, all sorts of guys, and Megan. It's been a lot of people, and it's been a crazy ride these 2 years. And I mean, realistically speaking, in terms of jobs, I couldn't hope for anything better to do. Realistically, I'm sure there's better stuff out there to do, but from what I have in my possession, I wouldn't want to do anything else right now. Dragon Ball is my favorite thing pretty much ever. It's my passion. Sure, people know more about it than I do, but I sit down and enjoy the show and give my 2 cents about it and try to go in depth and analyze things. Am I right about everything? No. Do I claim to know everything about everything in the show? No, never. Do I think I'm the best guy at power scaling? Absolutely not. I've been called the king of power scaling, but I think there's definitely people better than me, and I've had comments that really change my opinion on things. I just come out here to say my piece and hope you guys like it, and if you disagree, I at least hope you give me some sort of reasoning, because there's a lot of people that comment and just don't say anything. It's like, oh, you're wrong. Well, you didn't give me any counter evidence, so that doesn't really bother me. But I don't know. I guess that's really all I have to say. Anything else I've said before, I don't think I'm really forgetting too much. It's just, this is my source of income. I don't have another job right now because I decided to, quit my other one. And I'm happy. I got a car because of YouTube. I got a ton of things because of you guys. New TV, all sorts of things that you guys help me get because you watch my videos and share and comment, and that gets me money. And not only gets me money, but I get to share my opinion, which, some people will be like, well, it's really about you guys. But when I say it, you guys really do make me happy. I mean it. I don't just do this for the money. If I didn't make money off of what I do as much, no. I'm just being honest, because I wouldn't have time, because I'd have other things to do. But you guys really do help a lot with, my emotional state, keeping me entertained, keeping me engaged in the comments, even though I'm kind of lacking on that sometimes. Twitter, Facebook, all sorts of things. Just know there's a lot of factors that keep me going, and you guys are a big factor of that. And I do mean that when I say that. I'm not going to lie to you and say it's everything, right? Because there are very important things in life, and I guess there's so many ways I could say this without sounding like an asshole, but I can't even think of them. Actually, there's no way to say this without sounding like an asshole. Basically, I mean is, you guys are a part of the many things that do make this channel, that keep it alive. That's, I guess, what I'm trying to say. You do have your input. You do matter. And I do appreciate everyone that watches the videos. I don't know everyone. I'd love to do fan meetups. Again, I'm going to be at Comic-Con in Tampa in August. August 5th through 8th. 5th through 7th. I'll be there the 4th through the 8th. And we'll probably see each other if you're down there. But just know that I do appreciate it. And I wouldn't say that if I didn't mean it. And that's up to you to believe that or not. I say my opinion. I don't give you guys any bullshit. I just tell it like it is. So, thanks for watching the channel over the last 2 years. I know there's people that have been here for pretty much the whole time. And it's absurd to stick around a channel that long. It really is crazy that you would do that. and it makes me feel amazing, because there's thousands of you guys, but each of you are a person. I'm no better than you. You're no better than me. We just have different minds, I suppose, and everything else about us, I guess. But we're all people. There's nothing. We're no better than each other. We're all here to share our opinion on an amazing, on the greatest show ever, really, in my opinion. And it's awesome. So, hopefully you guys enjoy this video. Thanks for watching and sticking around the channel. I appreciate it. Like I said a million times. And, of course, I'll catch you later.